All righty, we're live. Welcome to Zone In Sports. I'm your host, D Hamp. We got Bigger D out there. How's it going out there today, bro?
It's going okay, man.
Oh, we got a doozy for you
Got
today,
dudes
boy.
today,
We
boy.
got a doozy. We gonna start off, and I'm gonna tell you before I even start digging into the numbers about the Canes that's being drafted. I'm gonna tell you why I personally love uh, Cam Ward. And it has nothing to do with Shador. It has everything about Cam's mentality right here. If you guys could hear it, let me know.
On perfect timing.
Come on, bro. Let's make a song. Let's drop one, Richie. I play football. Here we go.
Yeah, football.
I play football. You ain't got no hobbies outside of that? I play football. That's the only thing I want people to know me as, football players. When they search up Cam Wood, let me say American football.
That's all. Hey, and that's what I love about Cam. Man,
He all business. He all. Hey, I love it. He all business, man.
All business, baby, and that's
He got time to sing and nothing.
Right, that's what I want.
Him and Shadua are friends, and they've been going at it since summer camp last year.
Right,
and Cam was getting on Shadua during that camp, wanting to take all the water breaks and all that.
Right,
I ain't forgot that.
Right,
it's nothing against Shadua. I don't dislike Shadua.
Right.
Like I said, I think Shadua, if wasn't a first round pick, he should have been a second round pick.
Right.
But you got to remember, man, the Deion Sanders crowd, some of them are the same crowd that think LeBron is the greatest player ever. That's the same crowd that think Mayweather is the greatest boxer ever to step in the ring. That's this crowd. That's that.
Hey, I think Mayweather great. I don't think he was the greatest ever.
I think Mayweather is great too, but I don't think Mayweather would have lasted 15 rounds with Hagler, Hearns, and Sugar Ray or Durant.
Yeah.
So, and we ain't got to talk about your boy out there in California because he
LaFleur?
Yeah, he demonstrated again the other day about. Anyway,
right.
I like Shador.
Right.
I think it was personal. I think whoever the anonymous coach was that put that out there about him and his ego, and it was things about him he didn't like, that was personal because they don't like his father.
Possibly.
There's a lot of variables in this.
You're right.
If you go all over the blogs and Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, MySpace, whatever, everybody got an opinion. Some people say it's race. Some people say it's ego. Some people on this side say, well, he wasn't that good. Obviously, they don't know what they're talking about because you didn't watch the kid play.
Yeah.
The boy can play quarterback.
The boy can play.
The boy can play quarterback.
But I will say this before you finish, and that's what I implored to people yesterday. If you're in a bubble, you only watch Shador, you only watch Cam, I implore people to watch other quarterbacks because there's a reason why Quinn failed yesterday. I thought he was a hell of a quarterback. The boy out of Ohio State failed. Kyle
McCord from Syracuse, did he get drafted?
He got drafted late, 7th round, I think. 6th or 7th. I'm not really sure.
I mean, so, people mad at saying Jackson Dart got drafted before Shador. Dart, I put him and Shador about the same.
Yeah, I was trying to tell people, call me crazy.
Yeah. If you take Shador Sanders and you put him behind Miami line, you put him behind Ohio State line. I want to say Ohio State. You put him behind Oregon line, Alabama line, maybe Georgia because Carson had trouble with. You put him behind a good O-line, better than what he had at Colorado. Any of the teams I just named had better lines. Notre Dame. You put Shador on any of those teams, his numbers would have been that much greater because he would have had time to do what he needed to do. But everybody knew that Colorado offensive line was average, not even average at best, just average.
Right.
And dude had to run for his life a lot.
Yep.
You could have pushed Shador at SMU and he would have had better numbers.
But I go back again. That's why I'm kind of glad he didn't go to the Giants because their offensive line wasn't the strongest.
Nope.
So if you're getting your head beat in at Colorado, you're going to go to the Giants.
He has to understand that, and I know he knows this, and I know that's why Deion been quiet. he gonna catch flack because of his daddy, because he's confident. He didn't come out of poverty. He ain't one of these poor black kids that the first thing I'm gonna do is buy my mama a house.
Right.
He ain't gotta do none of that. He never struggled his whole life. He came out of money. So he came up under his father, one of the greatest players ever. He got coached by Tom Brady one-on-one. So those naysayers are upset about this, and they're going to bring up his ego and his arrogance.
I'll say this, and this is what we had to think. All that is fine, but when you interviewing for a job, that ain't got nothing to do with your daddy. You can have all the confidence in the world. You come in this interview, you interview for the job, then you can do whatever you want to do.
Right.
You know, some people say, hey, you fake it before you make it. Some people call me sellout. But look, hey, I'm trying to get this job. My money ain't got nothing to do with me walking into this employer trying to get this job. And I don't know all the reports. I heard a little bit.
Now, this just some of these.
I know.
Some of these people, they want to keep. That's these. I ain't gonna say it. That's these new ends out here, always playing the race card all the time.
Right. I'll just get the job, bro.
All the facts. Now, would race have a part to play in this? Of course. I would be naive to say not so. Of course. With all the crap Manziel did and all the crap Mayweather did, and they didn't get labeled like Shadua getting labeled, of course there's going to be that double standard. However, like you said, I'm still applying for a job. Yeah. This ain't got nothing to do about selling out.
Yeah. Because
this is, like I said, that's that crowd, man. That's that crowd. You got all these new. You didn't have Deion fans till he took the job at Colorado.
Right, it's true.
They come out the woodworks. Now they out the woodworks, and now I see females commenting on football. I'm like, sit down, gal. You don't know shit about football. All of a sudden, you know all about football because you become a Deion fan. That's fine. You a fan of Deion. You a fan of Colorado. That's cool.
Right.
But don't speak on football like you know what you're talking about. And now you want to interject, and now you want to throw these different cards out there, whether it's a race card, an attitude card, an arrogance card, or overconfidence, whatever card.
Right.
The boy got done wrong.
Yeah.
And it goes to a bigger picture than him. It goes to the NFL.
Well, yeah. The NFL is a business.
The NFL is a business. It's not football. If you want to see good, and pretty soon college is going to be a business if it isn't already. If you want to see really good quality football, you better off going to watch two really good high school teams where they playing with heart. There's no money involved, and they really want to win. Right. Because by the time you start getting up to where people getting paid, especially on the pro level, that's why Deion said he would never coach the NFL.
Well, yeah.
I can't coach a grown man making millions of dollars because the connection ain't there. They're not going to listen. These guys don't get on these teams and have that rah-rah camaraderie like they did in high school.
Nah, they all got jobs. Yeah, they got wives, they got kids. They
got a job to do. Yeah. Exactly.
So
you do your job, I'm going to do my job. This ain't about, come on, we a team, let's pull this together. And no, that shit ended when you was 18 and graduated high school, unless you go to a JUCO or a small college D2, D3 school where nobody really looking at you outside of your town or that county where, okay, nobody getting paid. Now you can see some really good football. But once you get the D1 getting paid, man, the money change everything.
Yeah, and before we get too deep in that and we dive right into the Miami, I just want to say one thing. I'm kind of glad, if anything, he kind of went where he went because he could lock in. You know, you can't come in, hey.
The money he lost, he ain't tripping off no 40 million.
He ain't tripping, but hey, billionaires, they trip off losing money. Money is money.
They tripping off, it's going to come back to him.
Oh, yeah. That we hope, because I
hope he turned Cleveland around and take him deep.
The thing of it is, as much as we don't know how any quarterback going to pan out.
Right.
So I hope that he does, and I think he get the vets around him.
We didn't think Lamar would be what he is.
Yeah.
I really think I think Jameis Winston would have been really good if he would have just got locked in. I thought the Saints would have locked in with him, but they didn't.
Right.
They punishing him for his foolishness he did at Florida State, I think.
Yeah.
I think because Jameis a good quarterback. He played good with Cleveland.
Yeah, he just got cut them turnovers down.
Who else? Terrell Pryor, another one. That didn't he come? No, Terrell Pryor. They
Ohio State, wasn't he?
moved him the receiver. What's my man that came out of Virginia Tech?
Not Vic.
No, he was with Buffalo for a minute, and they let him go so they could get the old boy they got now. And what's his name, man? Started at Virginia Tech, real good. I can't think of his name, but
that's okay.
Can't lock in with a team and a team get behind you. I personally feel like that's how it is. I think they put a lot of black quarterbacks on the same team, so they can't really get developed and start for somebody. That's my personal opinion.
Right.
So this is a business, man. They didn't want Mike Vick to be the face of the NFL. And you see what happened. They wanted Manning to be the face. We can't have this pretty high cheekbone, dark-skinned brother with braids on the cover of Madden 04. He cannot be the face of the league. No.
Well, hey, we got to be fair with the Mike Vick. I thought he played excellent, but then his problems came in when he couldn't do nothing but throw the deep ball. Tyrod Taylor. There you go.
Tyrod Taylor. That's him.
There you go.
Tyrod, a good quarterback.
Right.
I thought Tyrod did really good with Buffalo. I'm like, okay, Buffalo, they got something.
Right.
But they went and got old boy.
Right.
So, I mean, Vic redone himself with the Eagles he showed you, man. So anyway, that's my take on it. I just, like I said.
All right, so we're going to jump right into this.
I mean, who was my man that went to San Diego? Ryan Leaf. Turned out to be a bust.
But yeah, like I say, so we don't know. But we're going to start off. The most drafted in the ACC, Miami Hurricanes. Look at that.
7.
Shut all the naysayers up. The first since 2019 where they had 9 go. 6 nationally behind Alabama, LSU, Florida, and Michigan. So, they were tied, with Alabama, LSU, Florida, and Michigan with 7. 6 nationally behind Ohio State had 14. Georgia had 13, Texas had 12, Oregon had 10, Ole Miss had 8. That's the players that were drafted. Starting off number 1 on our list, went to Tennessee Titans, first round, first overall pick. I think the best player was in the draft. Some people would debate and say Travis, some people would say Abdul. But Cam Ward, let's talk about him.
Nothing else to say. I mean, I play football. And I'm very happy for him, for a kid that, and this is the one thing right here that really bothered me the most. Here's a young man that came out of nowhere in Texas, no stars,
right?
Plays at a small college, transferred to Washington State, puts up good numbers, comes to Miami, puts up elite numbers, all about football. But the most important thing to me outside of that is that he had his parents.
Yeah.
He had his mother and his father, not his stepdaddy, not a mama boyfriend, but his father was with him throughout this whole deal. His parents married, a family, okay? We scream about the father. We scream about the black father so much. And for people that look like you and me to complain and don't give this guy his flowers and they were so upset about Shador that they forgot that, what about this dude over here, man?
Right.
He got his daddy with him. Look what they did to Venus and Serena daddy. Look what they did to Tiger daddy. The daddy, the most important piece.
Yeah.
A lot of dudes get drafted. You don't see a daddy.
True.
Look at Travis daddy. He in the clink.
Yeah. He made it though, I thought.
He made it. I'm just saying.
Right.
Even during the Heisman thing, he had his parents with him.
Right.
Why aren't people celebrating this? Especially people that look like me and you.
Yeah.
They should be celebrating this. This dude got his folks with him.
Yeah.
And
it's crazy.
He goes number 1 overall. And the first thing people saying, he wasn't the best. He shouldn't have went number 1. And okay, you knew he was going to have his naysayers.
Right.
enough on that. I'm happy he went number one. This is first time a Miami quarterback went number one since
Testaverde. Yeah.
So I think the last another number one overall pick was a Russell Maryland or Cortez King.
Yeah, Russell Maryland, I believe.
So this is just a wonderful thing for him and his family.
Yeah.
And for people to drown that out because Shedeur didn't get drafted at all in the first round. And people that look like me and you all been out of shape. Instead of saying, okay, it's a travesty what happened with Shedeur, but on the flip side of this coin, but I think it's more Miami hate than anything.
Yeah, because when I look at the whole thing, I don't even look at it as a travesty because I just understand that in football, I'm going to find every story that somebody fell out. Now, from the projection that he was at, I'll be honest, never seen nothing like that. I never seen nobody that was projected as high as he have fall that far.
Yeah.
But I will say this. I was thinking when I sat back and thought, just thinking, if they didn't think he was a franchise quarterback, then yeah, he probably wouldn't have went in the first round. You know, I think Cam was the only franchise quarterback that they thought they could start day one. I didn't think that people thought Shedeur could start day one. So that was, we're going to take this question real quick, or the statement. I saw the 144 mid-round pick get his number 2 jersey retired. Shedeur, for the first time in life, have to compete for the QB job. What are you seeing in the backlash, or what you're seeing in the backlash is nepotism and arrogance. Well, I'm going to say this to you, Wanamel, that you're correct at the point that he does have to compete, because this is the thing that I'm a little bit, I want to see what happens this first year, not being around his dad since he was 8 years old coaching him. So having to get instructions.
What did Deion say last year or 2 years ago about Cleveland?
Yeah.
he was gonna pull an Archie Manning.
Yeah.
He
You can't do that. The hell no, you can't do that now.
Even with Deion, that mouthpiece got shut.
Yeah.
That mouthpiece got shut. They got brought back down to reality.
Yeah.
This is a good old boy network here. This is a Billionaires Boys Club. And don't nobody like me and you own the team, look like us on the team. They don't
do what they want you to do.
Right. It's amazing that Khan guy owned Jacksonville.
Look, I'm gonna tell you how I knew he got humbled. If anybody could go look at the pictures, the first day of the draft, Shedeur was dripped out everything. You know, he was swagged down. I ain't got no problem with it. Shit, by the day he got drafted, he had one damn chain on and a half cut off shirt. I was like, damn.
Now you're gonna have your people that say stuff like, you know, look at Cam Ward, real clean cut, not all flashy, simple clothes, this, that, and the other. That ain't got nothing to do with it.
Nah.
That ain't got nothing to
subscribe to that.
That's just his style of who he is. He ain't a flashy guy. He never been a flashy guy. He don't have a big mouth except on the field. He's an alpha on the field, but outside of the field, he's not an overly talkative dude. It's just only on the field when he competing.
Right.
So I mean, so that had nothing to do with it, what he wore, and he's clean cut and all this other, that ain't nothing to do with it.
It says, Dion need to stop celebrating 13 to 12 record. At the end of the
day, like we say, at the end of the day, Shedeur got humbled. I felt he got done wrong. If he didn't go in the first round, he damn sure should have went in the second round. And the slide all the way down to 5, I thought that was personal. I thought that was a move made by the executives. And of all the teams to get him, the worst franchise in the NFL got him.
Hey, well, they known to kill quarterbacks. Baker outside of there. Hey, look, we got says Vic was the face of the NFL on top of the world, marketing wise and beloved in Atlanta, which he was true. Vic downfall was self-inflicted. He didn't distance himself from his friends that were negative.
You can say that, Juan. Yeah. I won't disagree with that. It's the same with Iverson. You know, I respect that. He didn't want to leave. He didn't want to leave his people behind.
Yeah, they got caught up in some stuff for him.
And I think that hurt Allen a little bit in the NBA, the dress and that style. And you got to remember something. I'm
Go ahead.
It's America.
Hey,
And
you can't be out there dog fighting though, dog.
listen,
I'm
Vic,
just
Vic wasn't the one dog fighting.
well, I know.
And what people need to understand is this: I don't condone that, but dog fighting is big in the South. So is cockfighting, and it's been
Yeah.
going on for over 100 years down there, and they still do it.
Right.
And this just happened to come along and bite him.
Yeah.
Because his people was doing it, but they've been doing it. Somebody dog fighting right now in Louisiana or Georgia right now. Ain't nobody gonna say nothing. So anyway,
yeah,
I'm happy for Cam. He's number one. I was surprised that Arroyo went all the way in the third round.
Yeah. Now, before we switch to Arroyo, got Cam Ward first on the depth chart on Tennessee website. Will Levis, number 2. Brandon Allen, number 3, and Tim Boyle, number 4. So looking at that, I have no problem thinking Cam will beat out Will Levis. So I don't think that'll be any problem there.
Will Levis can't throw.
Yeah,
not a lick. That in the Monday night game, he can't throw.
Yeah, so yeah, not a lick. Next up, yeah, Arroyo. Yeah, I was shocked in
he had the best workout. He had the best combine of all the tight ends, and I think 2 or 3 other tight ends got picked before him.
Yeah, and my thing, I thought the reason why he slid just a little bit, and the other guys went before him. The one guy out of was it out of Michigan?
Penn State guy.
And the Michigan guy went before him, right? Was that to me they were looking for more a guy that can catch, but was more predominantly a blocker too. So like I told him, and then the question was asked to me, was he a dominant blocker? I said, well, I'm not going to lie. I said, when I look at Arroyo, I know you can split him out. He'll give hell to safeties, tough to cover. Linebacker can't stay with him, but I can't put on tape and just see him knocking people on their tail. But, in the NFL, he going to do what he got to do. So I think maybe it was just what some teams were looking for, the teams that took the other 2. Well, we knew Warren would go. I thought he should have been the first one took, but he was the second one. So on that note.
Arroyo blocked. I seen him block. I mean, it is what it is. I mean,
yeah.
The NFL, there's no rhyme or reason to what they do.
Well, true.
It really isn't. There's no rhyme or reason how they do their thing.
And right here on the depth chart with Arroyo, he got Noah Fant, which he still a good tight end. Elijah Arroyo, they moved up second on the depth chart. AJ Barner and Robbie.
Second behind who?
Noah Fant, F-A-N-T.
For Seattle?
Yeah, Yep, so that's a great landing spot for him.
He's fine.
Yeah. I think he's going to be fine there.
Tyler Warren come out of Penn State. He went 14.
Yeah, it was a guy went before him.
Michigan. Loveland. I don't know if they had better numbers than Arroyo or not.
Okay, so give Michael Vick some credit for having his fall from grace truly redeemed himself, and it's like, yeah.
I give him hella props, man. When he came back with Philly, he showed everybody why he was still that dude.
Right. Oh, hell yeah. Hey, I thought this for Devon. I looked at this too. I said we had the number 1 offense that had no wide receivers drafted.
Yeah, that was surprising.
I'm
happy.
Truly crazy.
I thought that was crazy too. I would have thought that Restrepo and
Jacoby,
yeah. I thought they would. I don't even know if he got signed, Jacoby, or not.
Jacoby got I got him. Yeah, signed a deal with the Panthers.
He did okay.
Yeah, because they didn't give the details of that one.
Because I seen Restrepo, Tennessee sign him.
Yeah.
So
I think, and then somebody said I thought Cam probably put a little bit behind that too, like bring him on.
Who was the other receiver? Sam Brown, the one that transferred from Houston.
All right. Who all got signed was the undrafted was Mish Powell. He was signed with the Vikings. Okay. Daryl Porter Jr. I think people were dogging him, but he wound up getting signed by the Bills. And Jacoby Restrepo. So Simeon Barrow got signed with Atlanta.
That's the boy that transferred from Michigan State, right?
Cement and Barrel.
Yeah, was that him?
Double check. I don't want to put no false information out. If you know, just put it in the chat. So,
At defensive tackle, right?
yeah.
I think that was him. He was nice. I thought he caused that fumble in the Louisville game.
Yeah. So those was the undrafted, but yeah, I'm with him. I'm with him on that. I was going down the list, and like I was joking with a guy. I was joking with Luke yesterday on the live, and I said, "How the hell these damn Georgia receivers getting drafted before anybody get drafted?" I was like,
you know what I
they
mean?
were dropping balls
where they drop rocks, and you don't sign Restrepo. Come on,
right.
I seen all these receivers getting signed. I'm like, who are these dudes?
Oh man,
yeah. This dude had 1,000 yards 2 seasons in a row, #1 overall in yardage in Miami history. And I'm like, how does he not get drafted?
Right, it's crazy. Subculture is Texas to your yeah, we know that.
Yeah, because you can't say it's his height because all these other little dudes like the ones Brady threw to.
Yeah. Edelman and even before that.
And the little dudes out there with the Rams that's killing it.
Yeah.
Nakua, them dudes small, killing it.
Yeah, I just really think that
I hope Tennessee do good. I really do.
I think they will. It's just the gang culture or getting mine before you get yours, not putting in the time to develop values and skills and ability and wanting all the perks of success is ruining a generation. That's a deep conversation there.
I'm not going to disagree with you, Juan, but that is a deep conversation.
Right.
Kids ain't the same as when we was coming up.
Yeah. And you know how it is. Let's say they don't like Miami. We hear you out there.
You're right. They don't. You know that. They don't like. They don't want to never see what they saw in 02 and 04.
Right.
All these Hurricanes getting drafted. They don't want to see that no more.
Yeah, it said Jacoby, if he's focused, can have a decent NFL career. He has to play slot, punt return ability. Yeah, I have to see what happens when he get into camp there. So
Jacoby George being a solid #2.
Yeah. You know, these guys gonna have to work their tail off when they get in camp.
There's a bona fide #1 on the other side. I can see Jacoby being a 2.
Yeah. So I mean
being a 2.
And I know guys are happy about
he had better numbers than old boy from Georgia.
Oh hell yeah.
That came from East St. Louis.
Oh hell yeah. Dominic Lovett.
He had better numbers than Lovett.
Yeah. I have to look before I say it, but I'm almost certain he did. So
yeah. Jacoby put up some nice numbers this year.
Yeah, I would. If I was betting, man, I would.
Nice his freshman year, man. He just got hurt.
And we'll talk about. Let's see, we got here. Okay, on the next up, we're gonna talk about Jalen Rivers went to the Dolphins.
No, that's old, bro.
But it is old.
That's a few years ago.
Yeah, let me stretch that out. Sorry about that, fellas. I don't know where I got that. Okay, Francisco.
Maui Oga. Kiki went to the Seahawks.
He went to Francisco went to the Jets.
That's right.
Yep.
The Jets got a couple players.
Yep. So
he went. Was he a 4th round?
He went, Francisco went 5th round, 162nd pick.
Okay.
So looked like
he could have probably went a little higher too. I mean, but hey, like I said, there's no rhyme and reason to this.
No, when you look at it, man, you start digging into this draft, it's kind of fickle because, like I said, you just don't know what teams want. That's why I try to tell people, you just don't know. Once you start getting into it, it's like, what do they really want? You know, do they want this person? So it gets a little tricky with that. And then, of course, we already touched it. We touched on Elijah. We touched on Damian Martinez. He went to
the Seahawks. He went
to the Seahawks. Let's look at that.
Borregales went to the Patriots as a kicker.
Yeah.
Tyler Barron went to the Jets, if I'm not mistaken. Defensive end. I think he was drafted in the 6th round.
Right now they got Damian Martinez 4th on the depth chart behind Kenneth Walker. Yeah, that boy be beasting. Zach Cabernet and Kitty McIntosh. So he has the opportunity, of course, I'm pretty sure they could beat out Kenny and Zach. You know, Keith Walker, if he could stay, but you could never have enough backs in the NFL anyway. So, you know, with guys getting hurt and everything, you know, you're just not gonna sit up there and not have guys. So even if you go to the practice squad for a minute, you're gonna be okay. It says Georgia receiver was A.A. Smith is a 4.2 8 guy. Hell, he could be a 4.1 guy they couldn't catch. So that's all I'm saying. Them guys out there breaking
Say
stuff.
it again for the audience in the back.
Right. I know they get mad at me, them Georgia fans, but they was out there dropping some stuff, boy, wide open bombs, boy. I was like, what the hell was wrong with them? Oh, man. And we talked about the undrafted guys, and what I would tell guys about the undrafted guys, they got opportunities, the undrafted free agents. And with Restrepo, we know Restrepo's work habit. Plus, he in a comfortable place with Cam, which can give you a little bit of extra. If anybody in a good place, he in a good place.
Yeah, he'll see the field.
Yeah, he's in a good place. Jacoby, I think he signed a deal. I don't know what the deal includes, but we'll see. You know, once the details get leaked out, it says, "Hey, gentlemen, I'm concerned with how the Miami Spring portal is going. We did fill out our major holes at safety, middle linebacker, and experienced wide receiver. Mario, what's up? They taking you to lunch." Well, I guess we're talking about Keelan Marion out of BYU. I know he got he committed, receiver, returner, which we've covered. Not him. We talked about when we first started doing these lives about the need for a strong punt returner. Got a guy with experience
and kickoff.
Yeah.
So now you got some threats. You put him back there with Malachi or Ray or who's the other one? JoJo. You got some threats back there now.
Yeah.
Now you got some real threats back there to run stuff back. So I think the portal so far, and they're not done. They're looking to get that D tackle out of Florida.
Yeah.
It's another big time safety. There's another linebacker they're looking at.
Right. What you concerned about, Juan? Tell us what you're concerned about.
I think they did fine in the portal, man.
Right. Now I did hear that, or I've been reading that Cantwell is treaded towards Georgia. So don't know how true that is, but Mario ain't going to stop until he signs or until he commits. So, you know, we just waiting on that.
Committing on the 30th, right?
I don't know, because the last thing I read, he moved the timeline back, but I didn't hear.
It was April 30th. What I heard, that's when he moved it to.
Okay.
So if listen, Georgia gonna throw that bag at him.
Yeah.
Oregon is too far. I already know. Even though they got the last official visit last weekend, I think it's gonna come down to Miami or Georgia, and he gonna start at either school right away. So now it's gonna come down to Georgia gonna throw some things at him. Look, they had a lineman that was taken way before Jalen Rivers. I think where did Jalen Rivers fall to? Like the 4th or 5th round at offensive line.
Yeah. Yeah, Jalen Rivers. Yeah, that's what I said. Jalen Rivers. He fell to the 5th round, 153rd.
And Georgia had a guy taken in the 1st or 2nd round. That to me, again, that's a name thing. I don't, I kind of felt like, let me see here. The way Georgia offensive line played this past season, they shouldn't have had nobody taken in the 1st damn round.
We beating up on Georgia over here.
I don't care.
The D tackle out of Florida side with North Carolina.
Did he really?
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Oh, wow. North Carolina, yep. Belichick. They probably offered him a bigger NIL package than what Miami offered him, because
Yeah.
Miami ain't hurting that D tackle. He
Yeah.
just would have had to compete. It would have been more depth.
And they picked up the kicker out of Texas, which
Yes. I think he just needed a change of environment.
who was that? The kicker?
Yeah, I know he slumped some toward the
Yeah, he had missed 9 field goals. He was 16 to 25 last year.
end.
So yeah.
Let me see. I'm trying to see.
Is it AJ Halsey? Is it a battle? AJ Halsey, is it a battle between LSU and
Now, I don't know how he got. Now Tyler Shue should have never got drafted ahead of Shador out of Louisville.
Shook or however they pronounce his name.
I don't think Mason Taylor should have got drafted ahead of Arroyo out of LSU. That's my opinion.
Hey, this is a question I did ask Luke yesterday. Out of all the first round picks, who do you think shouldn't have been in the first round, or maybe been lower? And who, if not, who would you put in the first round?
Okay. Tate Ratledge, guard out of Georgia, went 25th overall. Oh, no, he went 50. He went in the second round, 57th overall.
Right.
So I thought Jalen Rivers, I think because of his injuries, wasn't he hurt for a minute too?
Yeah.
I think that's what kind of hurt his draft stock a little bit because he was off for a year. And so like I said, going back to that Cantwell kid, I think it's going to come down to if Mario really want him, Mario will get him. They're going to have to offer him a really sweet NIL deal because, Georgia going to come with that bag too. So
yeah. Yes.
It all to come down to, and then the edge might be, Miami got a better track team than Georgia because he does do shot put, discus.
Right.
And so, he does do that in the spring.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I would give the slight edge to Miami.
Yep.
But we won't. I think it's April 30th when he's picking.
Okay. Now, my question to you is, I asked this yesterday. Of all the first round picks, who do you think shouldn't have been drafted in the first round, in your opinion, or maybe drafted lower? And that person that you say, who would you put in the first round? And anybody in the chat that has that, who wouldn't you have taken in the first round? And if so, who would you have put in their place?
I'm going to be honest with you, Dwayne. A lot of these cats, I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, Shamar Stewart, look at that. He went number 17. That's the Miami kid that at the last second, he chose A&M over Miami. But good for him.
Yeah.
He went to the Bengals.
Hey, I knew somebody was gonna put Jackson Dort there. Hey, I'd say McMillan. I'd have took Luther Burden over McMillan out of Arizona. Tetiero McMillan.
Where did did Burden go first round or no?
He was second.
Yeah, see, it's some dudes. Yeah, see, he should have been first round.
That's what I'm saying. I would have took Arizona.
He should be because you got a wide receiver from. I think he was better than old boy with the funny name from Ohio State. I think he was better than Matthew Golden at Texas. Well, another one I've seen, wide receivers. I think they had 3 in the first round.
Yeah, the Arizona kid.
Except for Travis Hunter. Oh, McMillan out of Arizona.
Yeah.
No, Luther Burden. I would have put Luther Burden. And that wide receiver, I think he was better than Travis Hunter at wide receiver.
He said Will Johnson was a first rounder.
I think Luther Burden was the best wide receiver in the country.
I think so. I'm happy he went to the Bears, but I
think Luther Burden was the best wide receiver in the country in college.
But there was reports that probably about a month ago that he was starting to slide too. I thought it was just kind of
why.
Yeah, that's what I said. I thought it was kind of fictitious at first, but I was yeah, I couldn't figure out why. But
he was banging so many bunnies at Mizzou. Come on,
I don't know. I don't know what Luther was doing at Mizzou. I don't know. Whatever he did, he ran Dominic out of there. So
right, he ran Lovett up out that mug.
So whatever he was doing, and
Hey, I got inside sources too. Dwayne. They told me about a lot of shit going on in Columbia, bro. Okay, put the burden. Hey, all I can say is this: I'm happy for him.
Right.
That man was a god at Mizzou. Let's just say that.
Right.
That man, he can have anything he wanted in Columbia, Missouri. That's
Hey,
all
I believe it.
he
Hey,
can have anything he wanted.
and a shout out Issei Lewis getting 2 players
Yes,
drafted
sir.
too. That hey, we'll put that on the map too. Kamal Bonner, NC State, transfer from NC State.
I think he's nice at linebacker. He adds depth. He got 3 years of eligibility left, so you're gonna have some competition in that room.
Right.
He could compete for a starting job. It's gonna be him, Basaint, and the other kid. I like the other kid. He got some heart and a motor on him.
Right.
I think Miami gonna be nice at linebacker.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind seeing all 3 of them on the field at the same time. I don't know what kind of defense Heatherman gonna run. If he's gonna run a 4-3, or if he's gonna run a 4-2-5 with 5 defensive backs. But I'm thinking he's gonna run a 4-3. I wouldn't mind seeing 3 of Mike Wills and a Sam Backer out there at the same time. You know, I'm very interested to see how this fall camp gonna play out when he gets here, with as far as the competition go when they go full pad.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting too. Hey, look at 15 people in the building. Smash that like button out there if you would. Share this content so we can get on out there. And if you want to call into the show, phone lines are open 636-336-6370. Okay, so we're going to move on. So are you okay now? When does the the spring portal close? Oh, well, it's officially closed now, right?
Is it today or tomorrow?
Okay.
I thought it was Monday.
So hopefully
it closes, but you can still have your name out there.
Right, yeah.
In the portal. I think it's tomorrow. You have to have your name in.
Because like I said, I still think
Friday, April, it's over with. It closed Friday.
Yeah, okay.
This was the last day of players could enter the portal officially. So Friday, April 25th.
Yeah.
So if their name is out there and they can still get picked up or signed, but they had to be in there by the Friday. Okay.
I thought it was a good move for Nycar coming back to coming back home.
Yes, I'm glad he made that decision to come back.
Yeah.
It adds depth and competition in that wide receiver room.
Yeah. Don't know why the factors. I heard he just kind of wanted to test the waters. It made me think of something that was it
Which he has a right to do. Any kid has a right to test the waters.
Now, Sarkisian had a different take on it. I don't know if you've seen his interview when he said that he will have a conversation with every player that wants to enter the portal. But once they put their name in the portal, is no coming back. That was his take on it. So some agree with it, some don't, but that's his thing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You know, I just thought that was an interesting take that
Mario did what he had to do when with Syracuse did what he did.
Right.
Holding out the spring camp. Ain't gonna be none of that shit. This ain't the
NFL. Right, yeah.
If you want to hold out, you might as well start packing your bags right now.
Yeah, I mean, and it's crazy because when you look at it and they trying to like you said, they got a couple of holes to fill. I'm confident that Mario will fill these holes that people are worried about. I don't know why Mario gets such a beating, you know, considering that every year he's gotten better as a coach. I mean, look
man, I told you there's a 20 to 25% of our fan base, maybe 25. I'll say 20% of our fan base are some babies, man. They some babies. It's embarrassing. Y'all about as crybaby-ish as Florida State people. I don't want to bash Florida State too much because of what happened at the school a couple weeks ago, but
we keeping it on the field.
And they now see the Florida State fan base been pretty quiet. And I understand why, because of what happened.
Right.
Usually around this time of the year, all year, They never shut up about Miami. Everywhere I go, Florida State fans digging in at Miami all the time. And I tell them all the time, y'all more worried about us than your own damn program.
Right.
But it's been quiet the last few weeks because of the tragedy that happened on the campus.
Right.
But we have some fans in our fan base that act like some straight up babies, for a lack of a better term. I mean, like really, man, they cry and whine. They can't. They cried about the kicker that signed. They cry about everything. They goddamn. They want to have 5 stars at every position. Go 12-0, win a natty, and they probably still wouldn't be happy.
Right. And on top of that, hey, you led the ACC in drafts selections, and you're still not happy.
Come on, man. If Mario is showing you in different areas where he's improving.
Right.
He's improving with the draft class that he has, with getting recruits, with the portal people he's picking up, with the kids that are getting drafted into the NFL. That shows that they're being developed here.
Right.
Can you imagine next year's class?
Oh, yeah.
Miami's going to have 1 or 2 guys next year in the first round.
Yeah.
Okay.
If not the first 2 rounds, I would think.
I
expect Carson Beck to be in the first round.
Unless Mariota gets hurt, he's going to be a first rounder.
Right.
I'm looking at who else could be a first round pick off the squad this year.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next year, you may have Bain leave after his junior year. You know, he could be a first round. So, I mean, the fan base here needs to just relax. I'm sorry, Bain a junior this year. So he may go after. So him and Mario could both be potential first round draft picks.
And that's going to get a little tricky because, Bain might try to test the waters in the draft, kind of like how Cam did at first when he left Washington State. And maybe if he don't fall where he want to fall, he'd be like, okay,
he might stay for his last year and get his degree. Yeah. Either way, in different areas, Mario is showing you how he's taken Miami from where it was under Diaz and where it was under Mark Richt. No slant to them guys, but he told you when he got there he was going to pump life back into that program. He was going to pump life into that line of scrimmage.
Yep.
Build up that line of scrimmage and go from there. Miami's never lacked star power in skilled positions.
Right.
I mean, you had Njoku, you had Wofford at tight end, you've had what's his name at a couple of dudes at the receiver positions that was cold-blooded, man. They never lacked in skill positions, running back or wide receiver or tight end. It was the trenches.
Right.
And now he's I'm going to build from within out. I'm going to build these trenches up. The skill players will come.
Yeah.
And now that I got an NFL type offensive line and an NFL SEC type defensive line, now I can play with your Georgias and Alabamas and actually compete and not get ran out the goddamn dome like they did when Diaz was the coach when they played Alabama and got embarrassed on TV.
Right.
When old boy was a freshman at quarterback that's at Carolina now.
Right, right.
So we tired of that.
Yeah.
You lost again. You lost. That's true.
Yeah.
I see that's true. I see old boy at right tackle being a first round pick if he don't get hurt.
Yeah.
And the guy next to him, that big old dude.
Right.
He probably could be a first or second round for sure.
Yeah. If
they protect Carson Beck and Carson Beck has a really good year, Carson trying to get himself situated.
Yeah. He tried to get in the first round. He tried to get a top 5.
So what do you say if next year, let's say Miami has a really good year. I'm not going to predict what their record is. Let's just say they have a really good season, put up some really great numbers, and they got 2 or 3 dudes that go in the first round. What are the naysayers? What are the Miami naysayers going to say about oh boy now? What else you want the man to do besides win a national championship? He's trying to build himself up to that. You already know Miami is fighting against forces that other schools don't have to fight against.
Right. Well, that I'm getting from guys is they keep saying Mario can't develop. That's what the guy kept.
That's a lie.
I know that's the
damn
stuff
lie.
that I keep getting.
You don't know what you're talking about if you can't say he can't develop. What are you talking about?
Right.
That's like people saying Carson Beck isn't a good quarterback, like he didn't have the type of year he had in 2023 for Georgia.
Right.
Are you serious?
Hey,
do you not know the sport you're watching, or are you just a fan, which stands for fanatic? And you just watching and not. What the fuck are you talking about?
Hey,
he don't know how to develop.
Yeah. And they say the guys that we get, that's how me and the guy was going back and forth. The guys we get are already developed by other teams. And I said, well, that don't even make any sense, because if that's the case, give us credit for the guys that leave us that go to other schools.
Thank you.
You can't have it both ways.
People talk out the side of their neck and don't know what the hell they're talking about, man. I'm telling you.
Right.
Do you think these offensive linemen aren't getting developed?
Right.
Jalen Rivers was from the Diaz time, wasn't he? I believe so.
Yeah.
He's a Diaz recruit.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't think this dude is getting developed? He got drafted. He got hurt. I think that hurt his draft step, but he's still. It makes no sense what people say, man.
I don't say they hard on man. And I say, man, I can't see it. I said, now you could say they keep saying, well, he can't develop quarterbacks. That's specifically what he said. But I'm always like, it's the quarterback. Well, offensive coordinator.
Where did they get that from?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Sat there and listen. What did you do? Go out to Oregon and listen to them cry about? They cried about. They think Mario hurt Herbert.
Oh,
that's what the charge.
How did he hurt her? I'm like, how did he hurt her?
How did he hurt him?
Right.
He balling out for the Chargers, dude.
Right.
How did he hurt him?
Right.
How did he hurt him? They act like that's the problem with these new millennial fans, what I call them. Miami got to fight people from within.
Yeah.
You got to fight a cable sports network that despises you. I want to say this right now for the record. What ESPN did during Cam Ward getting drafted selection was absolutely pathetic.
I agree.
That was pathetic.
Yeah.
How they kept talking about Sanders, how they kept talking about Travis
Hunter.
And Mel Kiper. You a bum. I don't care. Man. You a bum, Mel Kiper. I don't know how you became an expert. I said that on some other page, and people started digging in on me. He ain't never fucking played the game. What make him an expert? Somebody tell me what makes Mel Kiper
and what makes him right. You know,
how did this dude become an expert on football and positioning players? I have no idea. Mm-hmm. If you never played the sport, you're not an expert. You're a freaking spectator like everybody else. You may
give an opinion like us.
You may learn. At least we played.
Yeah, true. Right.
At least we played.
Right.
We played some.
Yeah.
We coached some.
Yeah.
This dude ain't do none of that. And for what he did and what the network did, a lot of people tuned off ESPN and went to the NFL network to watch the draft.
True.
Because of what they did. I've been saying this for 15 years. ESPN does not like Miami. They don't like Miami.
Well, why do you think so? Well,
I can't put my finger on it. I know a lot of it got to do. They signed that big contract with the SEC.
SEC, yeah, I do know that.
They are the ones who propelled Alabama to that pedestal and put them there.
Right.
And they know. Everybody in the country knows. Shockey told you in the first documentary, man, if all the Florida kids stay home, Miami will win a national championship every year.
Yeah.
It wouldn't even be close. So all these other schools got to come down here before the NIL, show up in helicopters, buy them charters and challenges.
Right.
Give them some money. Give them some girls they can go dry hump on. And they're going to come to Alabama and Ohio State and all them other schools. They're going to leave South Florida. It's as simple as that. If all these kids stay home, man, come on. With Mario going on, the other boy a few months ago, he chose LSU to play cornerback over Miami. I'm like, LSU? Okay, let's see how LSU does this year.
Right.
You know, the Shamar kid, I'm happy for him. He got first round to the Bengals.
Right.
The only reason why he left is because A&M gave him that bag, and Mario had just got the job, and he even said himself, he said, man, if Mario would have got hired a little sooner and got at me a little sooner, I would have stayed home. But, you trying to compete with that oil money in College Station, Texas.
Yeah, man, it's hard to do.
And you can't, so anyway, the disdain for Miami is there. It's been there. You watch, if you, that's why I hate Miami games being broadcasted by ESPN. I wish I could see Miami game being broadcasted by CBS or somebody else, man, because I really miss watching ABC when ABC had the games, when they were separate from ES before Disney did all the shit they did.
Right.
Because it was, I miss watching Miami when they play SEC schools on CBS.
Right.
So
Disney,
there it is.
Yeah. It's like because Minnie Mouse has it. All right. We take that. Y'all can read that if y'all want to.
So anyway, I think that's what the biggest fear is of Miami, because they know all the talent is down there.
Right.
And they know that the right coach, the right staff, the right everything.
Right.
Like they want to dig on Miami because they play at Hard Rock Stadium. Listen, I've been in that stadium when it's sold out.
Yeah.
It's not a college campus stadium. It's an NFL stadium.
Right.
And if Miami, when I was down there, when they played Florida State, when they wore the all green and Cozy Perry was the quarterback and they was losing and they come back and win that game. He threw a touchdown to my man from East St. Louis in that game. He hit Brevin Jordan for the touchdown to win the game. I was at that game. And let me tell you something. You can't use that stadium argument.
Right.
So they know with that atmosphere, if they get to winning down there and kids get to looking and like, hey, they know they're going to be a hard program.
Yeah. And Miami is a little unique in the fact that people will fly into Miami to games. You know what I'm saying? People, you know what I'm saying? It's unique.
Every year.
Yeah, that they get people from around the country that will.
I know other people go to the schools too, but
yeah, but you remember when College Game Day was down there?
Yeah, when they played Notre Dame.
Yeah,
that's the last time they've been there, 2017.
Yeah. And boy, people was watching that on TV. They was going crazy seeing the people out there in the boat
because they got to see the campus.
Yeah,
people who never seen the Miami campus got to see it. Like, that's y'all campus.
Yeah,
it's like that with palm trees and all that. It's
right.
It's one of the most beautiful campuses in America. I mean, I've been to USC campus. USC is real nice out there in LA. But it's different in a big city versus being in a small town like Tuscaloosa or Athens, Georgia.
Yeah, because about a mile or two off of campus at USC, you it's a little sketchy area. It
ain't just so much sketchy. It's so much to do in LA.
Yeah. Right. Oh, yeah.
There's so much to do in LA. It's so much to do in Miami. LA so big, they got two schools, UCLA and
right.
That too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And in the 90s.
Bitter pill is still there, man.
Yeah.
That bitter pill from the 80s.
You know what I don't like, even going back to Terrell, is that they try to use the 90s to knock us down. All they want to talk about is the swag and all. Miami football is so much more than that. It's about great players. You ain't got great players and not have a swag. But don't just say, these guys just swag and not great players.
That's why I so love the guys that came in 96 and 97.
Yeah.
When they got there and Butch Davis was the coach and Miami was at the bottom, getting dog walked by Florida State, getting beat up on by Virginia Tech. And they got great players like Reggie Wayne and Dan Morgan and Santana Moss. What's my man name that's the defensive coach, the defensive line coach for Miami now? He left Colorado to come home.
Damian Martin. Damian Lewis.
Yeah, Damian Lewis. When all them guys signed, Ed Reed, all them dudes went down there. And that's why I really love those Canes teams, because they scrapped from nothing with no indoor facility, none of that rah-rah. And they, year by year, you saw it with the 98 squad.
Mm-hmm.
That was a special year. Even when Najee got hurt in that game against Ohio State, they punched Ohio State in the mouth in that 17th annual kickoff classic up there in New Jersey when Kenny Kelly was the quarterback. And then they went into 99, and you seen it coming. It was,
Right.
and I see a little familiarity now. You see it coming. The difference is today is the social media with the NIL and the transfer portal. You didn't have all that back
Right.
then. Kids signed on then. They signed on knowing I'm in it to win it now.
Yeah. Because if you didn't, you had to sit out a year.
Right. Because right. You ask yourself, how did Miami get DJ Williams, the #1 high school player out of California? He's a class of 99 high school. How did they get this dude over everybody else? Over Oklahoma, over Tennessee, over Florida State. They had all the money in the facilities. It was that attitude. It was that competition.
Yeah.
And I think some of these kids want that. They want that competition.
Yeah.
And it's like hitting. Hitting is contagious in baseball. That can be very contagious for kids. Are you chasing this for the money, or do you really want to compete and grind? Because the end game is to get drafted, is to get in the league.
Yeah,
that's
the
your end game. So that's going to come.
Yeah, but the end game comes when you get success on the field, because I would say that having 7 people drafted has a lot to do with having a stud quarterback, receivers out there making play, playing on national TV, getting
and without
steam.
any of the receivers even getting drafted. That's what's crazy.
It's still crazy. Yeah, I don't understand.
I don't understand how none of the receivers got drafted, and I had the #1 offense in the country.
Right.
Martinez went in the 6th round as a running back, and I thought he was a 3rd to 4th round running back.
Yeah, because
I didn't think he was no damn. As hard as he ran, the yardage he had, he came out of Oregon State. They knew he was a beast then.
Right.
I just felt like, okay, I think a lot of that has to do with it just being Miami.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Really
I'm afraid we won't recognize college football anymore. It's turning into a pro sports with super leagues. True. Every year we're losing norms, little rivalries like Nebraska versus Oklahoma spring games. Yeah, it's a different.
Yeah.
That's why when we had the conversation that I didn't think that players that played 1 year should have the jersey retired. But I'm like, you might not even have players playing no more than 2 years at a university.
I don't think either one of them should have had their number retired.
But that's what I'm saying. It might be the norm where guys trying to, he played a couple of years at this school. He not getting what he really wanted. Go to another school.
That was a tactical move by Dion to get kids to look at Colorado and possibly, because Dion got to compete with Miami and Alabama and Ohio State and Notre Dame and Texas and Penn State and USC and Oregon. He has to compete with all these schools. Iowa State, don't sleep on them. Now Kansas is surging, can't sleep on. He got to compete with all these schools for recruits.
Right. So
the kids that want the stardom and recognition, they may choose Colorado. I don't think Mario want that. Mario want kids who gonna work. He already said you're gonna put in the work.
Right.
He already said that. You gonna come here and work. We're not gonna. You're going to have to put in that work, man. It's going to have to go back to how the way it was at the Hex in the late 90s going into 2000. It's going to have to be that way again.
Yeah.
It's going to have to be that way again, to where practice is harder than the game. So when you get to the game, it's like, who is these dudes over here? We finna smash these cats.
It says Martinez was a 3rd round pick, but the 2 Ohio State guys bumped him down. Those teams need to run it back to the field. Yeah, well, you know what? The Ohio State kids, like I said, they was beasts. I ain't gonna take nothing away from them.
I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, I ain't taking nothing away from them.
Shit.
Sure.
They had some monsters back there.
Yeah, so I ain't taking nothing away from them.
They
boys.
had some beasts. I want to see how they gonna look this year.
Yeah,
I'm interested to see how Ohio State look. I want to see how Penn State gonna look.
Yeah.
I want to see how Oregon gonna look. I think Texas, you know what you're getting. I want to see how Georgia and Alabama both going to look, because I really think their time is up in the SEC. I really think their time is up. I really think it's time. It's going to be you're going to see some other teams in the SEC start to make a move, and I think South Carolina is one of them.
Right.
Really do. I think the Gamecocks, they sitting there looking like, okay, this is our chance
Right.
to make it because they got the quarterback, they got the players. I don't think LSU is going to be all that. I don't think Ole Miss is going to be all that. A&M, I think A&M is going to be back in the thick of things. I'm not sure on Mizzou yet. I got to see what Missouri do with quarterback and whatnot, who they going to have coming in. But I just think Georgia and Alabama, you can only throw money at stuff for so long.
Yeah. Well, and then the money that they throw on, you got to think other schools got comparable money now. So that lure of the money doesn't really guarantee anything now, you know. So
I was kind of running about Florida, but Florida losing people, man. So Napier, him and Florida State coach, they in a very precarious situation as far as their schools are concerned.
Well, the crazy part, Florida had 6 guys go too in a draft.
Yeah, they did.
Or 7. They had
7 guys.
Yeah, they had 7. Yeah,
but they lost some recruits to Miami and to a few other people.
Yeah.
So I'm interested to see. You know, I'm not wishing. I dislike Florida State. I dislike Florida. I ain't gonna say I hate Florida. A lot of Miami fans will say they hate the Gators. I don't hate nobody.
No.
I'd rather Florida come to Miami and play them and be 3-0 than 0-3 or 1-2.
Right. Could you believe A.J. Allen left for FIU? Didn't think of coming back to the U. We have needed him. That third running back. Excuse me.
I liked him too. He left. I didn't know. I liked him, man. I really liked him.
Hey, where did he end up at?
I don't know.
A.J. Allen.
Where'd he go, Juan? Because I liked A.J. Allen. I really do. I liked him a lot. I liked him better than who we got now.
Yeah. Who?
Fletcher.
Oh, you like him better than? Oh, yeah. You did say you like. You've been saying
A.J. Allen. Every time he came in the game, I'm like, dude, right there. He reminded me of a little bit of Portis, a little bit of James Jackson. He ran hard.
Yeah. He said he went to Tulsa.
My cousin graduated from Tulsa, man. Got drafted by the Cowboys. I ain't mad at him.
Yeah.
I ain't mad at him.
Because he would have had probably compete. He probably going over there starting. So
he might not have started. I mean, maybe Mario say once you leave, you can't come back. I don't know.
Yeah. He could. Hey, like I said, that's one thing we're not privy to. We have to. We got to get another inside plug to get that kind of information.
It's like, you know, maybe he didn't want to come back. Maybe it's like all of us men. How do you look at an old girlfriend? Do you go back with a girl you used to mess with back in the day?
Yeah.
My motto is I don't like to go kicking up dirt down old trails. So
right.
Maybe A.J. Allen was like, been there, done that. Okay, I'm going.
You say Florida's putting all their eggs in basket with Lagway. But Lagway may hurt and he's hurt. Yeah, I did see he was hurt. He hasn't played. I thought it was something, wasn't nothing major, but I didn't know. Yeah, they have been saying all spring at the beginning of the spring that he had an injury, but I didn't know how bad it was. So
I think quarterbacks going to die in Florida for real.
Hey, Mertz got drafted.
Did he?
Yeah, he got. I'm finna show you. Yeah, yes, he did. He got drafted. I think it might have been 7th round, but let's see.
Hey, shit. My goodness. Wow. Hey, I didn't think he was bad when he had time. Hell, ain't no quarterback really that bad when they got some time.
Well, true. That's the point. Ain't none of them bad. He went to Houston. Yep. Graham Mertz.
Texas.
Yep. 197th pick.
Well, congratulations to him.
Yep. 6th round he went.
Wow.
Yeah.
Boy, if he'd have went ahead of Shadua, people would have had a fit.
Oh, boy, if he'd have went, boy, ooh-wee.
Ooh-wee ain't the word. Boy, folks,
man.
Their minds.
But you know the funny part, he went before. Well, I'm not shocked. He went before Riley Leonard. I think he's better than Riley Leonard.
Did Mizzou quarterback get drafted? See, I didn't watch it all.
Yeah, I think
I was too busy. I was too busy in my yard, brother.
He did get drafted. He got drafted. I want to say maybe 7th round, maybe. Brady Cook, we talking about, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
He shouldn't have went that deep.
We're going to find out. I don't know. Let's see. You know, for some reason, these quarterbacks were down. Nah, he had to go 5th round, maybe. Let's see here. Oh, Brady Cook. Okay, so Shadur with 5th round. Where the hell you at, Brady Cook? I know you up here somewhere. I know I seen you got drafted. It says, he said some girls may look better when you left them loose. Use dark and lovely and now driving a Lexus. Gucci apartment. Hey, baby, come back. Hell nah. Shoot.
I don't know why. I like the snow, so I don't know about that dark and lovely. But I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying, but no, I'm not going back with a chick. She would have had to be somebody. No.
He was undrafted free agent.
He was undrafted?
I'm looking at it. That's what it looked like. Let's see. NFL undrafted free. Damn, hold up now.
Wow.
Because I thought I said he was drafted. Let me see. Let me double check that. It says Alabama has been done the last 3 or 4 years. It says once NIL came into play, killed Alabama. Yep.
Did Milroe get drafted?
Yeah, Milroe got drafted. He got drafted pretty high, like 3rd or 4th round, I think. Yep, it says former Mizzou star Brady Cook, Johnny Walker lands undrafted free agent deal. So yeah, he went undrafted. And see that thing.
With who though? You know what I'm saying?
You see, he got Green Bay. This is much bigger the weekend. He wanted to hear his name called. Oh no, take that back. Say wanted to hear his name called in Green Bay, but it didn't. It says Jets. It says former Brady Cook is signing with the New York Jets, per source.
Like I said, the draft is something else.
Yeah, the draft was kind of kooky. And that's my thing. It's kind of like some of these guys. I don't think Brady Cook is a bad
I kind of quit
quarterback.
watching it after what was old boy name that the Bears signed out of North Carolina? People was mad as hell that draft. He was 1st overall or 2nd overall.
Out of North Carolina?
Yeah, Mitch something. And he went to the Bears and people was pissed. I remember that draft. It's been 6-7 years ago. Mitch.
It says he hired Nick Saban when on the field of the LSU staff before he became president. Yeah. At LSU. Yeah, so the crazy thing about the draft is, like I said, you start getting in this draft, you start seeing these guys that I thought were decent quarterbacks, but boy, they, like I say, to see Brady Cook, I would have thought he would have been drafted. You know what I'm saying? So that's the tricky part when we start evaluating when they start evaluating them, because we're not evaluating, we just speaking on them. But
and if it was a business, it's a business, and that's how they run it, like a business.
Yeah. So, and if you're not that true home run hitter like Cam was, that's what I was arguing with the guys before. Cam was the only home run hit at quarterback out of all the quarterbacks that came out. You know, so
I saw somebody was mad. They said the Titans should have took Jackson Dart, and I'm like, no, they got the right guy.
Yeah, hell, they got Will Levis from last year. You think they finna go Jackson Dart after that?
Right, they got the right guy. Wherever Jackson Dart went, they wanted him. They got their right guy. But
yeah. So yeah, that's the crazy thing about all of this, that when they start digging into it, and everybody can make a case of who should have went higher, who should have went lower, but like I say, and that's not even taking nothing, like I say, away from the Sanders thing, because I still think to go that far and see some of these other quarterbacks go before him, I thought that was just that was kind of ridiculous. But I guess when you start putting things together, you know, your talent with your interview with this and what the teams want to deal with, I could see probably how they kind of was like, look, maybe we don't want to deal with it for this price. We'll deal with it for this price. That's the way that's the only way I could rationalize. Like, we don't want to pay you $9 million and deal with your stuff. We'll pay you $1 million. And then if it gets too bad, we could say, hey, you know what? We could trade you and do whatever after a couple of years. So, you know, so at a cheaper price too.
Right.
On a rookie contract. So that, I guess that's the way I look at it. It says the SEC, what it says, the SEC came back to the pack with NIL level playing field. That's why Nick Saban really retired. The SEC had to download. Yeah, that's true. We kind of knew when the NIL started to pick up that a lot of teams were going to be able to compete because of the simple fact, you know, we'll say like Tulsa, they could probably get one big guy in NIL, but you got teams like Miami and some of these other conferences, they can get multiple people in NIL because they got money to spend. So, you know,
that's true.
Put everybody on a level playing field. Well, if you're a bigger team, hell, even teams like Virginia Tech, they ain't got the money to spend that Miami got to spend, but they can get some people. You know, they can offer. Yeah,
the name still carries weight. I mean, it's been a long time since Beamer Ball and you know, the Mike Vick days and Tyrod Taylor days and whatnot. But Virginia Tech, you know, I miss them Tech teams because they gave Miami competition.
Yeah. But another thing that we'll touch on before we get out of here, that I'm tired of the knock on the the ACC, because of the simple fact that if we're putting all these players in the draft, can't be a bad conference. We got to have talent in our conference. So
that's that cable sports network again.
Yeah,
people got to learn to stop paying attention to them.
Yeah,
and that's all that is. That's the cable sports network with their crap. And they're the ones, because they have to, and like I've been saying this for the longest, they have to protect their investment. And their investment in 2008 was $2 billion to the Southeastern Conference. And ever since then, that's been my argument. I'm gonna stick with that unless somebody can literally prove me wrong. Ever since they signed that deal and created that network for them, they're broadcasting 80% of the games or better. They have their commentators out there. They are the majority of the Associated Press with all their writers.
Yep.
Okay, so they're pushing the narrative. They have to protect their investment, and their investment was the Southeastern Conference. Before all that, you never heard about strength of schedule. You never heard you never heard about this the toughest conference in college football. You didn't hear all that. You had parity. You had, from the time the turn of the millennium in 2000 to about 06, you had parity in college football. This is pre-NIL,
right?
Pre-transfer portal. You had a lot of parity. You had good teams all over the country. So for them to put their money behind one conference, and then they're going to protect that investment and push that narrative. That's why I don't like watching games on ESPN. I wish I could. I want to be able to listen to the radio guys on the Miami radio and watch the game, but there's a delay between the game and the radio. Otherwise, I would mute the TV so I don't hear it.
Right.
I would. I swear to God, I would. I think you got to be in. I think you got to be actually down there in Miami watching the game locally on the local network, where you can actually mute these people and listen to the two guys on the radio station that broadcast the games, because I get sick of listening to these dudes, because they always talking about somebody in the SEC. They always got something negative to say about Miami, and it's just.
Well, when I look at, especially like ESPN, I look at it more as a gossip channel, because if it's something hot, that's who they're going to cover.
Hey,
that's it. You know, they didn't give you just straight sports like before.
They started going down the drain when Stuart Scott died.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put that out there. After Stuart Scott died, everybody liked ESPN back in the day when they was just doing Sports Center. When they was doing Sports Center, they would, they might have a Thursday night game and a Saturday night late game out the West Coast. But all the big time games was on CBS with Vern Lindquist.
Right.
And on ABC with Brad Nessler and Bob Greasy with Lynn Swan on the sidelines. That's what I miss.
Right.
I miss them calling games. I know they're older now. But
I just hate the bias. There's so much, and it's blatant bias.
It's terrible. I don't care. I don't care. You can watch any game on ESPN. These bastards can't do nothing but talk about one conference all the time.
Right.
And one or two teams. It was Alabama. Now they talking about Georgia so much.
Right.
They finally starting to talk about the Big Ten schools a little bit, but they still it's just sickening, man. I'm over it, man.
Yeah, it is.
I'm over it. I'm really over them, and I really wish we could get some. We seen that.
Yeah. I
really wish we could get some other networks like TNT or TBS to get in the college game and start broadcasting.
This is Nick Saban used closed deals at the yet not known Dodger dealership. The funny part, it wasn't just Nick doing that. That's the funny part about that, because we can tell you many cases up here in the Midwest where coaches then slipped up and got somebody a car or something.
It all started with my man at SMU.
Back in the Dickerson days, and Dickerson and
who bought Dickerson that gold Trans Am?
Who was the coach?
Texas A&M bought that car from him, and then he went and signed with SMU.
Oh, right, yeah.
Texas A&M bought Eric Dickerson a beautiful brand new gold Trans Am, and then he went and signed with SMU. So this shit been going on.
Yeah, shoot.
It's been going on. This ain't nothing new.
Right. Old Pony Express, yeah.
Old Pony Express. They politicized a lot of stuff. They got away from what they was good at.
Yeah.
Just let me watch Sports Center.
That's what's the most frustrating part about ESPN. It's like, if you want to do all this other stuff, go back to doing Inside the Lines that they used to do, and all these the shows that when you want to tell a story about somebody, go back to that and just put the games on and let us formulate our own opinions.
Mm-hmm.
We don't need y'all to formulate the opinions before the game even start, about these players or the game itself. It's frustrating.
It is, but it's what we got now. It's all we got. Unless Miami play a Big Ten school and it's broadcast on Fox.
Yeah. Notre Dame play got their own play.
Notre Dame still got their deal with NBC now.
Right.
Who does CBS have now that they gave up the SEC? Remember, the SEC used to be on CBS with the Home Depot long before ESPN.
I think we got somebody calling in. Hold on.
I wonder who CBS got now.
Hello. Can you hear me? Oh, I'm good. Call back out there if you want to call in.
Yeah, call back. Let's see how this works.
Yeah.
So, like I say, anyway, it is what it is, man. We got what we got. We just got to roll with what we got.
Right. Yeah. And it's crazy because, like I said, you look at some of that stuff and there we go. You hear that, E?
Mm-hmm. I heard it.
Call from Denise.
Hello.
How you doing?
How you doing out there? State your name and where you calling from.
My name is Denise.
All righty. How can we help you out there today?
Yeah, Mr. Dwayne, that lady ain't me. I know about sports, so let's just get talking to it here.
All right.
This I love Mario. I love him.
Okay, what you love about him?
We pretty good. That's why, because Manny was like, oh my God, that guy was. I don't know what that was. That was. That was something. I don't get what that was, but he was terrible. He was terrible. Couldn't recruit. He couldn't do anything. But Mario is the guy. I hope he stays forever, not like Snellenberger. If he would have stayed, well, ain't no telling how many championships we would have got.
That's true.
That's true.
That's true. We try not to give Manny a hard time on the show because I think Manny was trying to do the best. I just think he got ran over by the players.
No, I know, but no, man, no. I'm sorry, no. He's just like another Al Golden to me. I'm sorry, but no. We don't want no more Al Goldens, okay?
Hey, bigger than he like Al Golden.
No more Al Goldens, okay? We done been through that a lot. And at that time, I was saying, like, man, please don't give us no more of this stuff. I'm done. When they got Mario, I said, I'm going to give him all the time you want, 10, 20 years, whatever, because we never had this kind of talent, okay?
All right, I hear you. What's your prediction for Miami this year? What you think the record going to be?
I think I'm going with 11 wins, so
okay.
That's my prediction.
Who you got the loss to?
Yeah, I think, huh?
Who you got the loss to?
Probably, maybe, let's see, probably, I hope not SMU. I'm trying to think because we going up there, so I don't know. I'm trying to wish that we don't drop that game to them guys.
That's a conference game down in Dallas. I plan on going to the Louisville game. Louisville, you never know what you're going to get in Louisville.
Right.
11-1, I can rock with that.
Yeah.
We all want 12-0, but 11-1 is an improvement. If they had to drop a game, I'd rather see them either lose to Florida or Notre Dame because those are non-conference games.
Florida, no, I want to beat them jokers down there.
I don't want to lose to any of them. I don't want to lose to any of them. I got. They know to talk trash. I'm just thinking, okay, Notre Dame. It might be some politics involved in that game.
We playing at home though.
Yeah, but the last time they came to Miami, they got curb stomped. So. I just don't bring them ACC officials either. We don't want them jumping down. They are horrible.
We all agree.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
give me some Mountain West. Give me some neutral guys out the Mountain West or something.
Right.
You're right on that.
Give us something better than that because it's horrible.
Okay, then. Well, we appreciate your call.
What is his name? The guy he still didn't pummel that ball in that game with Georgia Tech. Now, that's a bunch of crap.
The running back.
Yeah.
What's his name? I know.
Yeah, he didn't pummel that ball.
No, he didn't. His elbow was down.
But the ACC, those refs are horrible.
I knew it was a bunch of junk then. But I love Mario and some of these guys down here at the some of these reporters and podcasts, Mario this and Mario that and all this. I say, man, do you know what we was before this guy got here?
Right.
Do you know we had Larry Coker? You can recruit off of site. Do you understand what I'm saying? And and let me tell you something right now. They would never given Manny the money that they given Mario. Never.
They believe in Mario. That's why.
Exactly. So he's doing a fine job, and I don't have no complaints with him. It's only thing I complain about when he need to make faster decisions on stuff. But other than that, I'm down with Mario on a lot of stuff. So,
all right. Well, we appreciate your call, and
right.
Like I say,
all right,
tap back in with us again and subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed. We appreciate your call there.
All right, I'll put your phone number in my thing and try to subscribe. All right, thank you.
All right, thank you now.
Thanks, man.
All right. All righty. That was our first caller there, right there.
Hey, Juan, everybody else, call in when y'all want to. The next time around, call on in, man, so we can talk to y'all live. We need to spread the word.
That's right.
We're trying to build this thing. We up here in Missouri, so we want to build this thing and get it going. So yeah, we appreciate the phone call from the caller, and we're gonna.
I think we're about ready to wrap this up for this week, but we do got a lot covered next week. Of course, we're going to know that Jackson Cantwell. We're going to know a couple of situations about some more guys that's getting brought in that's on
The
campus
portal,
this
yeah,
week.
from the portal. We should be done with the portal by
Yeah,
this time
so
next week.
it's gonna be interesting week next week, and hopefully, like I said, we got a couple of more spots we need to fill. Everybody stay patient with Mario, please. I understand. Hey, you got any questions for me? Email me at zonesports@gmail.com. I'm always on live. Follow us either or on Twitter or you on Twitter, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm on there.
But you're not on there. Okay. Okay. Well,
I'm mostly Instagram. I just got on TikTok because you
yeah, because I showed you the one thing. Yeah.
I'm
You
on
can follow me
Instagram,
at TikTok
Facebook.
d.hamp. Hell, I don't know all the I know it's d.hamp. If you put that in, you can follow me on there. Like I said, reach out, just share this content so we can get everything out there for you guys there. So go on and take us on out of here today, E.
Looking forward to the transfer portal when it closes up, how many more guys Mario can get. Congratulations to all the Hurricanes that got drafted and that signed contracts after the draft. We had 7 players get drafted. I believe 6 players signed contracts afterwards. That's a total of 13 guys off the team that signed in the NFL they're going to be playing in the league. So barring any injuries or anything out of the ordinary, we got 13 guys that are coming off this squad that are going to be playing on Sundays. So that's a big deal. It shows that Mario is moving the program forward, and I'm looking forward to their success. Big congratulations to Cam Ward and his parents. Big props on that. And you guys tune in next week. We're trying to grow this thing, and we're going to try to keep you best informed with what we got. And then everybody have a wonderful week, and God bless, and it's all about the you.
All about the you, baby. We out.